When it comes to the Lakers and Kendrick Nunn, there are a lot of questions, right? What will he be health-wise? What type of player will he come back as? And will he end up being traded, right? There are tons of trade reports in regards to Kendrick Nunn being sent out for various pieces, whether it's a Buddy Hield deal, Patrick Beverley, whether it's in the Kyrie trade or another trade. Kendrick Nunn very likely could be traded and never get a shot to play for the Los Angeles Lakers. But when it comes to that, the question that I want to ask and pose to you all, and of course break down here, is it worth the Lakers to trade Kendrick Nunn given the type of player that he was pre-injury? And don't get me wrong, injuries are a big concern, and there are a lot of questions about Kendrick Nunn. But Kendrick Nunn is a baller. Kendrick Nunn was a starting point guard on a finals team that was averaging 20 points a game and just giving everyone in the playoffs the business. I mean, he was a dominant player for the Miami Heat. And a guy like him who's young, who can do so many things, handle the ball, set players up, go get you 20 a night, or even if it's just 15 a night, having that scoring option and that facilitating option off the bench is huge. And it's like the Lakers are trying to look for what Kendrick Nunn already offers the Lakers. And it's like, yeah, like let's say we get Patrick Beverley, but is Patrick Beverley really an upgrade over what Kendrick Nunn could be? I mean, Kendrick Nunn's younger, right? So younger players bounce back from injury better. And especially with the just advancements in technology and medicine and things like that, it's very likely that he could come back and get right back into the swing of things. If he comes back and he's even, let's say, 80% of what he was in Miami, he's easily a 15-point-a-game guy off the bench. You don't need him in the starting role, so it's not as big of a significance, right? And you have plenty of guys that can fill in the starting role. Plus, LeBron James is likely going to be the point guard anyway in the starting lineup. It's just nice to have that guy that can come in. He can play on the ball. He can play off the ball. He's a great slasher, great cutter. LeBron can really set him up. He can knock down the outside shot. Now, he isn't like lights out or anything like that, but he's at least respectable. And it's not out of the realm of possibility to think that he is upgraded and improved in his skill set. He's in the gym, he's in the lab. I mean, he had a whole year to recover, which is a good thing. Many people wanted Kendrick Nunn to come back last year, but Kendrick Nunn wasn't going to be the savior last year, right? Kendrick Nunn was great, and if he did come back and was a 20-point-a-game guy, yeah, it might have helped significantly, but was it really worth him maybe getting re-injured, or him just not fitting in because he's recovering from injury still and he's being rushed and forced back in? The Lakers weren't going to be a contender if Kendrick Nunn came back last year or not. So why rush him returning when it's not going to have a huge significant impact and with a disastrous season that the Lakers had last year? Now this year makes more sense because now he's had a full year to recover. He's had time to train and practice, get in game-ready mode. He's going to be able to work with the team. He's going to be integrated. He's going to be able to adjust more easily and fluidly. And not just that, we need to see what happens with the rest of the roster. What upgrades do they get if they don't trade Kendrick Nunn? Does the team stand pat? If they do, okay. Do they keep Westbrook? Do they send Westbrook out? Do we get Kyrie Irving? All of those things I think are significant. And even if we do get Kyrie Irving, right? The thing is that Kyrie Irving, as great as he is, he's going to miss probably 20 games a season, right? Anthony Davis probably going to miss 20 games a season. LeBron, same thing. So it would be nice to have that guard that could kind of fill in for Kyrie in a pinch. And I'm not saying that Kendrick Nunn and Kyrie Irving are anywhere close in comparability, but just what Kyrie would bring to this team, Kendrick Nunn does bring a lot of those same things, assuming he's healthy, assuming he is the player he was in Miami. But I think it's at least worth a shot. You bring him in, let him run, and see. You might have your problem solver on your team already that you're trying to look for and find. And it's like, why not? It's like a lot of those guys are still going to be out there. And new ones will probably likely emerge as the season goes on, as we get to the trade deadline, the buyout market, stuff like that. So if Kendrick Nunn isn't that guy for you, and he's not, taking over games, and he's not, that consistent guy that you're hoping he is, then then you have options later on down the road. I don't think Kendrick Nunn is going to make or break you either way. I think either this team's going to be good enough or they're not. I think Kendrick Nunn, yes, will be a factor, but I don't think it's like, oh my God, Kendrick Nunn is a 30 point a game guy. Like he's the best player on the team. Like, I don't think it's going to be something like that. I think he's just going to be another role guy, but a guy that could be a go-to scorer in pinches, get you those bursts off the bench, things like that. And I think that there is value in that. He's still very young. He has talent. He has skills. I mean, we saw how great Kendrick Nunn could be. And I get it, recency bias. It's like, what have you done for me lately? But this was 2 years ago. He was a guy that was a 20 point a game scorer, and he missed one season. But we've seen guys, I mean, look at Kyrie and Kevin Durant. They missed the whole season and they were able to kind of bounce back and be the same guys that they were because, again, advancements, technology, all of those things are a factor in today's NBA because we're just so far and away what we were, even 10 years ago. And so I think Kendrick Nunn is a guy that the Lakers could end up regretting trading, and it's like, I mean, if the right deal is there, then yeah, absolutely. But it's like, what is out there that would be more beneficial that's going to be an upgrade for what Kendrick Nunn could potentially be? I mean, Kendrick Nunn is essentially a free agent signing. And a year ago, people were blown away and shocked that Kendrick Nunn went to the Lakers and the Lakers got him for so cheap. It was one of the biggest conversations of the offseason last year was that they were able to get Kendrick Nunn, given his age, his skill set, what he did for Miami, all of those things. They were able to acquire this guy for the mid-level exception. Like that's crazy. And then it's just like he didn't play for a year, so everyone's just written him off, and it's like, oh, they need to trade him now. They need to get rid of him. And it's like, what are you going to get that's going to be that significant of an upgrade over what Kendrick Nunn could be? I just don't think there's anything out there that the Lakers could realistically obtain, at least not yet. Like I said, I mean, see what he could give you, see what he offers. Like you don't have anything to lose at this point, especially if you get Kyrie at that point. It's like you have a little more flexibility because you have a more form-fitting team rather than Westbrook where it's clunky. But Kendrick Nunn could be that factor in many ways, and he could be that X factor in the playoffs because he's a guy that showed he's not afraid of the moment. He's not somebody that shies away from the moment. He's not somebody that is fearful of like the spotlight and the shine and all that stuff. We've seen that during the playoffs. We've seen what he can do during a finals. All of that stuff. Like that has huge value. And there are a lot of teams that I think would take Kendrick Nunn. I just think a lot of those teams are concerned about like his injury, and is he going to come back to form? But even if you did want to trade him, like right now, his value is at an all-time low. Why wouldn't you wait and have him play for you? And if he does get back in that 20-point-a-game guy, maybe some other doors open up where it's like, okay, well, this trade makes a lot of sense. Like here's a mid-tier guy. Here's a guy that can play defense and give us, 20 points a game, but he's, maybe he's 29 or 30 and, or he wants out of this team or whatever. And it's like, okay, well, now we can do this type of trade. I just think it would make all the sense in the world for the Lakers to keep Kendrick Nunn unless the right deal is there. But like even Buddy Hield, like is Buddy Hield really, I don't think Buddy Hield is going to be that huge of a factor. Buddy Hield doesn't provide anything outside of shooting. He's not a good defender. He's not a good rebounder. He's not a great passer. He can be lights out, but he's also inconsistent at times. I mean, we've seen him have like, where he'll go and he'll hit 7 threes. And then he'll have like a 3-game stretch where he hits like 4 threes during that 3-game stretch total. At least Kendrick Nunn, if he can get back to being Miami, you know he's going to be that consistent guy. He's going to give you, at least 12 to 15 night in and night out based on his playing time and stuff. So I just think that personally, the Lakers should highly consider keeping Kendrick Nunn. But as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. What do you think about Kendrick Nunn? Do you think, yeah, it's a mistake to trade Kendrick Nunn? Like, the dude was a baller for Miami, right? We don't even know what he could be for the Lakers. Like, why not wait and see what he could potentially be? And then, depending on that, then make a decision. Or at least it raises his trade value, and then you can trade him. Or do you think, no, get him out. He didn't play last year. We need guys that can play. We need guys that are more certainty rather than the upside. I just think that Kendrick Nunn is a low-risk, high-reward guy right now. And it's like, who are you going to get that's going to be that significant, that's going to be that impactful, Like I said, even Buddy Hield, like I don't think he wins you that many more games than Kendrick Nunn would if Kendrick Nunn is Miami Kendrick Nunn. I just think he offers so much more. But that's my opinions. Love to hear yours down in the comment section below. That being said, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, followed by the bell notification. Stay up to date with all things sports. Join this wonderful community and all of our discussions. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.